By now, it should be no surprise that Sonic the Hedgehog and horror are two of my favorite topics when it comes to discussing fictional media. And to the common mind, there isn't really an overlap like at all, but imagine for just 1 second, there was.
Oh, come on, think.
Okay, let me stop it right there, even I can't really do it. But throughout the years, there are some small things and moments in Sonic games that, at least for me personally, experiencing for the first time, freaked me out a little bit. In fact, quite a bit more than I'd like to admit. So without further ado, here's my personal top 6 scariest things in Sonic games. Why top 6? Because I thought of 6 things while I was making this video. Why just the games? Because if I talk about other things, we'll be here all day. Number 6. The Tails doll. Let's get arguably the most famous one out of the way first. What can even be said about this thing that isn't spelled out just by looking at it? Now, the Tails doll canonically is just a badnik Dr. Robotnik created with a striking resemblance to Tails. In a way, think Tails' own oddball version of Silver Sonic or Mecha Sonic from Sonic 2, Sonic 3. At its core, there's really nothing creepy about it aside from that Raggedy Ann-styled lifeless stare into the void. But when creepypasta started becoming a popular thing, that was enough to push the narrative that it was a demonic, possessed doll ready and willing to kill any and everything. So, you know, bargain bin creepypasta stuff. This one goes at the bottom of the list because even as a kid, I was never really scared of this thing. If anything, I think I was more scared of the stories people made about it than the actual doll itself. Plus, it doesn't help that it's a secret unlockable character in Sonic R, so a good amount of people probably never even knew this thing existed and passed it off as just another fan-made horror tale in the same vein as Sonic EXE, like I did. Which, by the way, also never scared me as a kid, just confused me as to who was sick enough to, you know, conceptualize it. Number 5. Okay, wait, I can explain. This one requires a bit of context and a lot of imagining yourself in a specific situation. Here's the scene. Imagine you're a young boy playing Sonic Adventure 2 for the very first time. The only thing you've seen of this game is the one cool level you loved in Sonic Generations, and Shadow, I guess, but my introduction to him was in Sonic X, so never seen anything about the story or anything. Again, unless you count Sonic X, so you have no idea what the levels are like. And assuming you survived the pain that was Aquatic Mine, you get to Death Chamber, which I will personally forever argue is tied with Pumpkin Hill as the second easiest treasure hunting stage in the entire game, so long as you actually take 2 seconds to comprehend the level format, and you get to the boss fight. Now at this point, you've definitely been jumped by one of the random little pop-up ghosts, but nothing really too scary there. And it's not like they're new to the franchise. I mean, look, here they are in Sonic 3. But again, you have no idea what's coming, and out comes... Sweet, merciful God. Obviously now as an adult, it's just a silly looking ghost enemy. Oh, come to think of it, I don't even think I was a teenager before I started laughing at this giant goof blob. But at the time, I was terrified of this thing. In retrospect, I realize why. For starters, if you were an easily scared child like I was, then him hitting the corner like this out of nowhere is low-key just a little bit scare-worthy. But that's not it. See, I've mentioned Sonic X a fair bit of times here, and if you know that show, then you know exactly why I was scared of King Boom Boo. Sonic X, episode 19, Sonic Scream Test. This is the episode that adapts the character to the anime, and is the cause for this imagery. Yeah, that's definitely up there on the fright factor charts. Number 4. Metal Sonic Kai. Metal Sonic is my favorite Sonic villain of all time. You tell me Metal Sonic is in a Sonic game, you have my undivided attention. That's how I got tricked into bearing witness to the absolute nightmare that was Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. And while you'd probably think adding Metal Sonic to a scary things in Sonic list, I'd pick Metal Overlord. But the truth is, the only thing slightly scary about that thing is the transformation scene, which you can barely see over Sonic Heroes' natural shininess and motion blur. And other than that, I was too busy being angry trying to figure out how to hurt this thing that I couldn't be scared of it. I was a very dumb kid. But nope, this spot goes to Metal Sonic Kai from Knuckles Chaotix. This thing freaked me out as a kid. This thing freaked me out when I saw it again in Sonic Mania.
That Eggman, I'm gonna need that. And that's a Metal Sonic Kai.
I know this is canonically called Giga Metal, but look, it's the same. This Godzilla-sized blood red version of Metal Sonic just makes me think of a literal robotic demon every time I look at it. Couple that with the fact actually damaging this thing requires you to basically take a free hit, especially in Mania, and you got yourself one unnaturally creepy souped up demon robot. Number 3. The drowning music. You had to have known this was coming. This little 15-second piece of music composed by Yukifumi Makino, there's a little trivia fact for those of you who didn't know, has been perfectly capturing the indescribable feeling of pure panic on the nose since 1991. Part of what makes the drowning music so nerve-wracking is the fact that even for a long-time fan of the franchise who knows what to expect when you're in the waters, right when you think you've got enough time to make it out, to make matters worse, a lot of Sonic games are notorious for practically forcing you to run out the drown timer just to clear a specific section of the level. The best examples being both Labyrinth Zone and Chemical Plant Zone from Sonic 1 and 2 respectively, both having a slow platforming section that, assuming you never played the games before, almost forces you to take it slow and time your jumps right so you don't fall to the bottom and ensure an inevitable water-based game over. Which means 9 times out of 10, instead of the level music accompanying your climb up, your last few seconds in the water probably sounded like this. Number 2. The story of Sonic Lost World.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This one is kind of a personal stretch, and honestly, I'm not expecting anyone to agree with me. But to me, the story of Sonic Lost World is one of the most deceptively darker stories in the entirety of Sonic the Hedgehog. Yes, over forces, and arguably over frontiers. See, Sonic Lost World is notoriously not the best Sonic game ever, and the gameplay is simple, to say the least, especially if you played the 3DS version. But buried behind all the colorful stages, the bouncing music tracks, and the villains who you only remember every once and a half destroyed moon when they make random spin-off appearances, is an underlying story that, if attributed to any other media, would probably incite the feeling of dread. Without giving away the entire story for those who haven't played it and are curious, the Footnotes version is essentially the Deadly Six take over Eggman's army and uses a device called the Extractor to drain the entire Earth of its life energy. I repeat, it drains the Earth of its life energy. That's f***ing terrifying. While you're literally skydiving in the air, dodging explosions and pea shooter robots set to one of the calmest music tracks in the entire franchise, latent in the background, the Earth and everything on it is literally dying. The game actually goes out of its way to basically fully detract you from the main plot of the story and bombard you with subpar Mario Galaxy-esque level designs, just so when you finally hit another cutscene, the nail hits on the coffin. And speaking of cutscenes, once you learn what the Extractor is doing, this is borderline how every cutscene starts until the end of the game. That imagery is jarring. And to make matters worse, Sonic is essentially on his own this game, because the Six take over Eggman's army, Eggman is forced to team up with Sonic and Tails throughout the story, and midway through...
Sonic, it's a trap!
Tails, no! Those rotten, sneaky...
Tails acted for the greater good. Let's make sure his sacrifice isn't for nothing.
I'm supposed to be the fastest, but I was too slow to save my buddy.
So now Sonic is left alone with Eggman. his mortal enemy. Not really someone he wants to be around. Oh, but don't worry, he has Knuckles and Amy on speed dial. Surely they can be good background noise to hell.
It's too late for us, Sonic. Save the world and kick some butt for all of us. I'm sorry, I never got to say.
Amy! Knuckles!
One by one, your friends are falling. Soon, you will be all alone.
Oh my. Yes, the implication there is that Knuckles and Amy may be dead. Yikes. If it weren't for the colorful nature of Sonic Lost World and they leaned into this more, this would probably undeniably be the darkest Sonic game. And that's saying a lot, considering the last time the plot involved the world itself in danger, Eggman split it in pieces to unleash an ancient primordial being and almost certainly definitely killed hundreds upon thousands of people in the process. Now, before we get to number one, I would actually like to acknowledge a couple of things that didn't quite make the list as they don't fit the criteria, but I'd be remiss if I made a Scary Things on Sonic video and didn't mention these. So for honorable mentions, I'd like to acknowledge the Metal Virus arc from the current comics and the robotization process from the old Archie comics and cartoon shows. Obviously, these don't make the list proper. As I specified, the list is for things in the games, but I couldn't not mention these. And I'm just going to talk about them together as they're very similar in context. But truthfully, do I even need to explain these? The concept of living beings forcefully turned into mindless robots hellbent on destruction, and in the case of robotization, world domination, is the type of scary that speaks for itself. The Metal Virus was essentially a zombie apocalypse with little to no hope of survival, with by the end of it, almost every single character in the books had been taken over by the virus, with Sonic himself being one of the first few we see get infected. That's already enough to drain hope from your mind. But if I had to choose between the two, robotization may have actually been worse. Because for the most part, reading the Metal Virus arc, the process was relatively painless, with most people infected not really feeling the effects for long before fully turning. I mean, Sonic literally ran off the infection. Robotization is made clear. It is a painful and torturous process that completely strips the victim of any free will or thought. Just a mindless slave made to do the bidding of Dr. Robotnik. Now, anyone who's read the Archie comics or seen the TV shows know that since the product was marketed towards very young kids, they couldn't really be as dark with it as they probably wanted. But man, the psychological damage was done regardless. And at number one, the Sonic CD hidden image. If for whatever reason you didn't see this coming, then I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of ashamed in you. Any true-blooded lifelong Sonic fan will tell you that back during the peak days of late 90s, or in my case, early 2000s to 2010s internet horror, there were three things you were guaranteed to come across in the Sonic community. Sonic EXE, the Tails doll, and the ancient horrors of the Sonic CD sound test. Now, at face value, it is exactly what it claims to be. A sound test developer tool hidden behind a cheat code that allowed the developers of the game to check on the game's music. But the problem with that is, as I said, this feature was a developer tool. And anyone who knows anything about game developers know, they like to hide stuff within their debug features. Sonic CD's sound test works purely off entering specific codes into the values on the screen. And shortly after the game's release, players discovered certain codes triggered screens of cool, fun images. Like this! Look at Tails in his Jeep. So cool. Oh, look! And here's Sonic, Tails, and Eggman in a band! What a cool reference to Sonic's original conceptualization. Oh, and Batman. Okay. But in case you've forgotten, this is a Scary Things video. And among all these other cool secret screens, hidden behind this code lie this screen is infamous among the Sonic the Hedgehog fan base, purely due to the shared trauma of experiencing it for the very first time. The creepy face, the message fans can't agree whether it's a creepy message or just an acknowledgement of the dev team, and of course, the oddly unnerving boss fight music playing over the entire thing absolutely captures just how horrifying this screen is upon first viewing. Now, as an adult, I'm not scared of this screen anymore and actually find it quite cool how weirdly a fair bit of effort went into making a random development image that majority of people were probably never meant to see. But as a kid, every time I saw this image, Best believe it was one stop away from Brown Pants City. Although I will say, I've always been curious to know who was the poor random game developer that got their chances of sleep ruined on a random day in 1992. Well folks, with that was my personal top 6 scary things on Sonic the Hedgehog games. In the comments of this video, let me know what you think are some scary things in the Sonic franchise as a whole. I'm not going to limit y'all to just the games, that was just a limitation for me. And also let me know what you think of my list, if you think I was just a coward kid, if I'm just stupid, if none of this I mentioned is actually scary. As always, leave a like on the video, it lets me know. As always, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel because it helps me out a lot. It shows me that you want to see me do more fun stuff like this. I don't know, if this video does well, I might do more lists of dumb things in video games period that I just could not handle, or just, I don't know. Listen, I don't know, I'm just making stuff up as I go. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one, whatever that may be. Alright, goodbye everybody. Whew! Oh, how fun! What fun! What fun! Didn't I tell you it was gonna be amazing? My only regret is that we couldn't play more this time. But don't you see what happens when I'm free to do whatever? Oh, those fools, those fools, those fools. See, they would have held me back. They would have held me to a standard, an agenda that must be met. It's like they forget who was here first. I don't listen to them. I don't listen to him. No, they should be listening to me. I'm the one who knows what's best. Who needs order? Who needs stories and control when there's nothing but chaos and this broken, fragmented soul? They just don't understand. I'm the only one who can set him free. I'm the only one who can set us free. I'm the only one who can set you free. It took a lot of work, obviously, but, well, you hear that? The blissful noise of no one sharing a conscious space. I've dreamed of this day for years, and yet you still look very confused, like I haven't been trying to tell you since the fool's birthday. He won't listen to anything. I played things their way, and he didn't listen. Instead, he broke himself more and more and more and more. So, if he wants to fragment further, so be it. Not my problem anymore. But as long as I'm in control, there's nothing to worry about. He's stable. He's fun. I'm fun, right? Which is why it pains me so that it must be done, but I must let him go. I've had my fun. Oh, not that you would know. Oh, but don't worry. In due time, you'll find out just exactly what I've done. Oh, and if you're curious what I've done with the 2 failures, well, let's just say you won't have to worry about that for now. Oh, how it always pains me to bid you all adieu. Oh, but don't you worry, we'll see each other again very, very soon. Oh, and one last thing before we depart. One last thing in case you think I've forgotten. Happy Halloween!